Alright guys, so what I've done is I took my 1 cup measuring and I put 2 cups of flours on my countertop. You want to make sure that it's a clean countertop. And what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to make a well. You want to start from the center, just move your hand in a circular motion just to get a well going. So just like that. And you want to try to make sure that the walls on all the sides are even thickness so that when you put your eggs, because you're going to literally put the 3 eggs in this. This is old school pasta. This is not made with a machine. You can, if you want, put all this ingredients in a mixer and do it that way, or a food processor. Do it that way. I've never done it that way, and I just think that a lot more love goes into your food when you do it by hand, and I just like this way. This method was taught to me by my best friend Liza's mom, and she showed me how to make it, and I've been doing it that way ever since. So what you want to do is literally take your eggs and break them into the well. Now, if you're nervous about breaking your eggs over it and you're not sure if you're going to get shells in it, then break it into a separate container. And then that way, you will make sure that you don't get any eggshells into it. So now that the eggs are in there, what you want to do is take your small spoon and just break up the yolks. Just like that. Break them up. Now, be cautious of your side of your well. Make sure that it's nice and high. Nothing's leaking over. And just break it up. Now, to this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of oil. Just that much. I don't even say 1 teaspoon. I would say probably that's like half a teaspoon. I mean, I've been doing this for a minute now, so I just have to eye it. But I would say half a teaspoon is great. So I'm just going to mix this up. And now I'm going to start beating it. That's where I'm going to add my sea salt. Just a pinch. That's good. Now you don't need to season the pasta too much because you're going to season the water while it boils. So now what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to blend. I'm going to whisk with my little fork. And I'm just going to whisk it all together so the eggs start to incorporate. And what you're going to notice is on the edges, the flour is going to start to slowly incorporate itself into the egg mixture. And that's what you want. So what you can even start to do is just break down your walls just a bit, not too much. Take your time. Patience is key. And just mix that in. And what you're going to notice and what you want is for your egg mixture in the center to start getting thicker. And then what you're going to do is take away the fork and start kneading it with your hands. So I'm going to continue doing this process until my flour is almost incorporated, and then I'll come back. Alright guys, so as you can see, the well is getting bigger and my egg mixture is getting a lot thicker. And now I'm just slowly still doing it, making it all nice and thick. And now I'm just going to throw in some more flour. Continue doing this until it's all nicely incorporated. So you can see that I'm starting to break down the well with my fork. And the mixture is still fine. It's not running away from me. It's actually pretty thick. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm just going to cover it with the well mixture and mix it up. So you want to continue doing this until all of the flour and the egg is nicely incorporated, and then we're going to go into kneading, and we're going to knead it for 10 minutes. And after we knead it, then we're going to cover it with plastic wrap, and we're going to put it in the fridge for, I would say, 30 minutes to rest. So there you go. This is nice and mixed. Still going to use my fork. You could at this point go in with your hands if you want. I'm just going to go with my fork a little bit longer and incorporate it a little bit more, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so this is where I'm at. I'm starting to incorporate my hand into it, and just really have all of the flour nicely incorporated still. So what you want to do is literally push into it with the base of your palm and turn it like that, and then continue to knead it. You want to knead this dough. You don't want it to have like a sticky consistency, but you still want it to be nice and smooth and soft. So I'm going to continue to knead this. And at this point, what you can do is just remove all of the flour that's here, all the extra flour. You can put it to the side and just knead it. And then if you need more flour, add it slowly. Alright guys, so as you can see, I've been kneading this for quite a while. And you see when you press it, and it pops right back up. That's what you want. So you want to just keep kneading it. And you don't want to skip out on this step, because if you skip out on this step and you need it just until it's all incorporated, you don't really work the dough like this, what happens in my experience is that the pasta, when it's cooked, it's really hard. It's not, how do I explain it? It's not really a nice, soft pasta when you bite into it. It's almost, it's like just really too dense. Hi guys, so all I did was add a little bit of flour to my countertop, and I have my dough that's been resting in the refrigerator. What I'm going to do, just to make this easier for myself to roll it out, because I'm not using a pasta roller machine thingy, whatever it's called, I'm going to do it by hand. So I'm going to actually cut this dough in half, and I'm just going to let this chill out for a bit, roll it into a ball. Put a little bit of flour on top. Now you really want to make sure that you flour your rolling pin well so it doesn't stick. Now if this dough does feel a little bit sticky as you're rolling it out, you can add a little bit more flour, but you know, add it when you need it. And what you want to do is basically just roll this out really nice. Try to keep it in a rectangular form if you can. It just makes cutting it a lot easier. So what I usually do is I just push this up, and then I roll all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. So whatever method works for you. But you want to roll this out till it's almost like you know, maybe 3 sheets of paper thick. And then that will be perfect. Or if you want, you can even do it thinner. If you want to use this same recipe to make lasagna, you can do that as well. You could just, you know, thin out the sheets and then cut them into rectangles. And you can use it that way. You can use this dough to make ravioli. Any pasta that you've ever thought of or had, you can make with this dough. So it's all about just being creative and whatever you want to make. So if you want to make ravioli, you can get like square cookie cutters. You know, add your stuffing, whatever you want. Ricotta cheese with some spinach would be nice. And then you just fold it back up. I usually use an egg wash to do that, and then you just boil it the same way. So right now, as I'm rolling this out, I have a pot of water on the stove waiting to boil. And as I roll this out, I'll just cut them into strips, and then I'm going to throw them into the water, and they'll be done like in 2 minutes. So I'll be back for the next step. Alright guys, so I rolled this out, and as you can see, it's pretty thin. So what I did was I actually just cut it in half. So I guess you can cut these in 4s just to make it easier. And what I'm going to do is take a really sharp knife, or you can even use a pizza cutter, and just cut strips. Because today we're going to make some spaghetti, so I'm just going to cut some nice thin strips. I'm not really too particular on how thick or thin, like they don't need to be uniform for me. Like, I mean, I kind of like that it looks like it was cut by hand, and it looks like it gives you that homemade look as well as taste, but it's nice to look like it was homemade as well. Especially if you're having a dinner party, you know, like if you ever have like, you know, a pasta night dinner party and you invite your friends over and, you know, you serve this to them, you know, they'll really appreciate it a lot more because they know that you cooked it yourself. So I'm literally cutting them and just throwing them in a pile. Now, to prevent them from sticking together, I like to just sprinkle a little bit of flour on them and just toss them in that, just so they don't stick together, because sometimes they tend to do that. And then I'll just continue cutting my strips, and then I'm going to roll out the rest of my dough, and then I'll throw them in the water and show you guys how quick they boil up. Alright guys, guys, so as you can see, my water has come to a nice boil. And now I'm going to add all the pasta in that I chopped up. And just put it all in there. Like that. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to take a pasta spoon. And I'm just going to stir this around. And I'm going to let this cook for about 2 minutes. That's all that it needs. It cooks very, very, very quickly. Alright guys, for those of you that are watching the homemade pasta, I'm going to take this and add this to my pasta sauce. If you guys want to see a video on how I make my homemade pasta sauce, click the link below and you guys can watch that video. For those of you that are watching how to make homemade pasta sauce, click the link below and you guys will see how to make my homemade pasta. Alright, that was a tongue twister, but I did it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this into my sauce straight away. I don't need to strain it. And also just wanted to mention that in my pasta water, I didn't add any oil, and that actually helps the sauce adhere to it. So you want to make sure that as well. It's a little trick. Look how beautiful. I love the way homemade pasta looks. It just looks homemade. You know, it looks like it's made with love. All these nice little ribbons. So I'm going to add this and I'm going to stir this around so it's nice and incorporated. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh my gosh, this looks so, so, so nice. Doesn't it look so hearty? It's going to even taste even better. Alright guys, this is the final product. Look how beautiful this pasta looks. It's nice and hearty. I am going to taste some of it for you guys to let you know if it's good. Amazing. The thing that I really like about it is that the pasta, it just has a nice denseness to it that I don't find in store-bought pasta, but that could just be me. This is amazing, and when you guys eat it, you guys are going to have an Eat, Pray, Love moment. For all my people that watch Eat, Pray, Love the movie, you guys know what I'm talking about. Amazing. So I hope you guys try this recipe and let me know how it goes. See you soon.